At exactly 6:17 p.m., Wellington looked up, and the sky started turning like a drain. It began as a flicker above the rooftops, a dark smudge against a bruised evening cloud bank. People on Lambton Quay slowed mid-step. A bus hissed at the curb, and nobody moved to board. The wind off the harbor had that sharp, salty bite, and the whole city felt like it was holding its breath. Then the smudge split into thousands. Birds, so many you couldn't count them, rose in a widening spiral over the central city, circling as if an invisible hand was twisting the air. They moved with a precision that didn't look natural, not chaotic flapping, not random scattering. It was choreography, a living vortex. A teenager filming on their phone muttered, "Is that normal?" And that's the question everyone kept asking, even as the spiral tightened. At first, it was beautiful. The flock caught the last scraps of sunlight and flashed like ink in water. But 10 minutes became 30. 30 became an hour. The birds didn't break formation. They didn't peel away to land. They just kept climbing and turning and climbing. Over office towers, over the beehive-shaped parliament buildings, over the harbor where the ferries sat like still toys. And that's when the mood shifted. A cafe owner stepped outside and turned the open sign-off without thinking. A paramedic on break stared upward and said, very quietly, "Animals don't waste energy like this." Someone else swore they could hear it. An endless soft roar, like distant surf, made from thousands of wings cutting the same circle through the same cold air. Then the spiral changed shape. The flock stretched into a tall column, like a dark staircase into the clouds, and for a moment it looked like the birds were orbiting something not visible but present. People backed away from the street as if the shadow might fall on them and stick. A man near the waterfront pointed out toward the hills. "Look," he said. "The wind's wrong." Flags snapped one way at ground level and another way higher up, like the air was layered and arguing with itself. The spiral held steady, as if locked onto a hidden current, an aerial river no one could see. And still, it went on. 2 hours, 3. The light faded, street lamps clicked alive. The flock became a moving night stain against the dim sky, and the city's normal sounds, traffic, laughter, music, felt small beneath that constant circling. Near the end, the spiral loosened as suddenly as it had formed. One by one, then in waves, the birds broke away in perfect timing, streaming toward the coastline and disappearing into the dark like a single thought finally released. The sky emptied. The wind returned to its usual restless Wellington rhythm, and the people left standing below didn't cheer. They just stared at the space where it had been, unsettled by how organized it was, and how easily it stopped. Because the scariest part wasn't that the birds spiraled for hours. It was the feeling that, for a while, the sky was following rules the city didn't understand. If you felt that chill too, hit like, share this with someone who loves mysteries, subscribe for more stories like this, and tell me in the comments, what do you think the birds were following up there?